Morning or afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Art Janicelli. I am the director of the E360 Modern Data Center Infrastructure Practice. We appreciate you taking the time today to learn more about how E360 and Zerto are better together and how Zerto can be the great platform for your data resiliency, mobility, and disaster recovery solution. And Mike will be working with me. And Mike, go ahead and advance the slide. So E360 is a full service value added reseller with deep and broad consulting capabilities, as you can see here. If if it's related to cloud or data center or security, we are the partner for you. We can help you in all of these areas. And we'll go into some more detail here. Mike, next slide. So E360, we are more than just a technology consulting firm. We definitely specialize, in advisory services. We want to take the business portion of your problem into serious accountability. We like to look at things from the business problem and work out from there so that we can have a business solution, not just a technology speeds and feeds solution, and with our deep levels of expertise in technology, we can marry the two. Once we understand the competitive needs and the competitive advantage of your business, we can work towards finding solutions where technology can actually, make you more efficient, more cost effective, and really provide that business centric solution that you're looking for, in your technology partner, not just a speeds and feeds, Walmart of technology kind of partner. So we go well beyond that. So next slide, please. So, in terms of technology specifically, we have been doing this for decades. We're one of those rare partners that have been in business, since before the 90s. And, we've been around for hyper-converged computing, traditional stacks, cloud, edge, we're now branching into AI solutions. And, we were one of the pioneers of infrastructure as code. We've been doing that for 20 years, going back to the bash days. So E360 is not afraid of being on the cutting edge of technology and again, marrying that to your business needs. Next slide, please. So not only do we get deep into the weeds on the data center side of storage compute, but we're also very in deep with networking. We have multiple high level Aruba and Cisco network architects. And again, we have, SD-WAN capabilities, WAN capabilities, LAN capabilities, and Wi-Fi. Whether you're just doing a simple robo office of Wi-Fi or, doing a multi-floor commercial building or even a medical practice with MRIs, it's something that we've done many times and we have a deep expertise in. Next slide, please. And along with security or with networking and data center technologies, we have a dedicated security practice internally called Advise. And Advise can work with you on policies and figuring out what we need, what we can do for you for firewalls, Citrix policies, secure, DNS, all of those kind of things. We are your partner. We've done this for many organizations, things the size of governments, Fortune 500s. We are all very at home with that, helping out with Sarbanes-Oxley audits, and then also working with you on lowering the cost of your cyber insurance. So many things that we can do for you here at E360. We are a full service technology partner. Next slide, please. So, Zerto, of course, was acquired by HPE, and E360 has a very deep relationship with HPE. We're a platinum partner. We have decades of experience with them and hold, well over 100 certifications in HPE, and we've been doing this for years. And we've also been working with Zerto back since they were a startup. If you're looking for the premier disaster recovery and data mobility partner, you can't really do better than Zerto. And it's one that it's a partner that we're proud to work with. And really, when our clients want the best in data mobility and disaster recovery capabilities, we always refer them to Zerto. Next slide, please. And that's why E360 and Zerto are better together. And I want to pass off to Mike at this time, who's going to go into some depth and detail over how Zerto lives up to that partnership and their reputation as being the best at what they do.
All right. Well, thank you, Art. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Nassis. I'm a product marketing manager at Zerto. And as Art just mentioned, I'm going to go through Zerto's capabilities with you and really just go into a deep dive of how we can, whether it's disaster recovery, ransomware recovery, or migrations and mobility, and how we can address all of those. But before we really kind of get into the weeds, wanted to do a level set on who we are and what we do, right? Zerto was really founded on the idea that applications and data need to be protected at all times. So our customers can run their organizations without interruption. We really saw a gap in the marketplace and a need for this continuous availability. Almost 15 years later, Zerto has really become synonymous with disaster recovery. But we're more than just that. As I mentioned, um, we live and breathe not only disaster recovery, but also ransomware resilience and multi-cloud mobility. And our nearly 10,000 customers around the globe can attest to this. Now, when we talk about our customers, we also have a large foothold with government customers. We actually have government accounts spanning 44 out of 50 states, and those include state, local, and federal government accounts. So we are really we're trusted by every industry, but one of our focal points, one of our focal industries is actually our government customers, and I think you'll really start to see why in the coming slides. So some of the current priorities and trends that we're starting to see in state and local government, most organizations kind of share these. The first and foremost is no surprise, technology modernization. We're starting to see an increased spend on cloud platforms, right? Moving to the cloud, investing more in that. ERP systems, business intelligence and data analytics, things of that nature. Then we're also starting to see the implementation of distributed cloud, AI, machine learning. Art touched on that, and of course, edge computing. And then lastly, and this is top of mind for everybody really, but investing in cyber security. The highest increase in spend this year, actually compared to prior year to the previous year, will actually be on cyber and slash information security, and that's actually from a Gartner 2023 study for state and local governments. It was a CIO study. So these are the three areas that we're starting to see really become the focal points for now and also for the near term as well. So those actually align very well with our core business. So in particular, we really have a laser focus on three key use cases: ransomware, resilience, disaster recovery, and multi-cloud mobility. We're really focused on these to ensure that all of our customers can achieve continuous protection for any app, any cloud, and any threat, really. And all of this is based on a foundation of continuous data protection, or CDP, which is a space that we actually pioneered and have been a market leader for almost 15 years now. So when it comes to recovery time and downtime, right? Daily backups typically won't cut it. While there's certainly a time and place for backup solutions, when you're talking about mission critical applications and having to deal with RPOs of an entire day, RTOs or recovery time objectives of several hours, the impacts really start to add up. The average cost of downtime can be $250,000 per hour, and with backups, you're looking at potentially several millions of dollars there. So typically, the next step, right, is a storage replication solution. While these are better, and you're gonna definitely cut your RPOs and RTOs down significantly, you're still left with hours of data loss and hours of downtime. When we're talking about state, local governments, right? When we have critical applications that need to be up and running, obviously hours just aren't going to cut it. So what you're actually going to want and really need in many cases is a tried and true disaster recovery solution like Zerto. We actually deliver RPOs of seconds and RTOs of minutes. So you can actually pick a checkpoint that's 5 or 10 seconds before the disruption and roll back to that time, all within a few minutes to pick up right where you left off on. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. So it's really important to keep in mind that these single digit RPOs really have real world implications, obviously. So every single outage um, is going to cost drastically less when you only are down for minutes versus several hours, of course, right? So I don't probably have to say too much more than that. Now, you might be thinking, how do we achieve these aggressive SLAs? And it's really because of our key differentiators that we bring to the table. First and foremost, our best of breed hypervisor-based replication that is really native and agentless to ensure this continuous data protection for your organization. We also have this unique journaling technology to ensure you can recover and resume from any point in time from seconds on up. And of course, we also ensure that your applications are moved or recovered as a single entity. So it's all about application consistency. And we also bring scale out architecture that's built for the enterprise. Of course, with all this being said, none of it would make a difference if this was difficult, complex to use. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity is at the core of everything we do. Simplicity of deployment, of use, built-in orchestration analytics, and we'll get into a little bit more about that. But these are really our four differentiators here that our business is built on, and how we're able to really achieve a continuous and uninterrupted um, organization. So as we kind of dive into these differences, right, you'll start to see a little bit how the Zerto solution works. At the heart of our solution is really what we talked about. What I mentioned earlier is CDP, right? Continuous data protection. This is made possible with our block level replication, which is near synchronous replication, which really gives you the best of both worlds. It's less costly than synchronous replication. And on top of that, there's no performance impact like asynchronous with snapshots. And because we sit at the hypervisor level and we're a software only solution, we can be hardware and storage agnostic. So simply are able to set it up, replicate, and it stays always on to really keep you always protected. Now, what we also deliver, and this is actually a recent launch for us, is real-time detection, right? So with our anomaly or encryption detection, we're actually not waiting. We don't have to wait until the point of backup or after backups are complete. We're doing it as the encryption occurs to really detect an anomaly within seconds, allowing your team to take action. So right from the first moment of impact, you're going to get a warning or an alert, and administrators can assess and determine whether it's a false positive, maybe, or if there's actually some sort of ransomware attack or something else going on. On top of that, because it's on a VPG basis, you're going to be able to identify what we call the blast radius very easily as well. So in a real life scenario, one certain set of applications may become infected from an attack, while another set aren't, or at least haven't yet. So what you'll be able to do is only recover the infected files. So it's not an all or nothing. You'll be able to pinpoint those servers. These are the VMs that I need to restore, and these other ones are okay. And of course, with our API first approach, you'll be able to integrate Zerto with everything else you're already using in your cybersecurity stack, which is a giant value add that many other vendors can't deliver. Now, part of what makes our CDP so powerful is the unique journaling capabilities we have, and I've touched on this a little bit, but um, it the journal actually tracks every single change made in your application or on your server, and it logs these as checkpoints every 5 or 10 seconds. with the traditional backup, you lose several hours of data. But with Zerto, let's say you get hit with a ransomware attack or some sort of outage at 10 a.m. on the dot. You can actually simply roll back the clock to 9:59 and 55 seconds and completely mitigate that infection. So you only have 5 seconds of data loss. Now, lastly, when we talk about true CDP, we have to keep a focus on the applications themselves and not think of individual servers in isolation. Modern applications are likely comprised of multiple VMs or containerized pods, all interdependent. So think of a front end connected to a database with a load balancer and file server in the mix as well. So legacy data protection makes life kind of hard for IT teams by offering restore points from very inconsistent point in times, which only extends the RTOs and complicates recovery. Certo, on the other hand, solves for that challenge of recovering these complex enterprise applications by protecting your workloads as cohesive, logical entities, right? So that way you avoid the inconsistent recovery of multi-VM applications where each VM is being restored to a different point in time. So this is more than just bundling VMs together as a group, um, although that's part of it. With Zerto, when creating recovery points, all the VMs will share the same validated checkpoint with right order fidelity across all of them, regardless of which underlying hosts or data set or data stores are being used. So when that application is actually recovered, every VM that makes up the application spins up from that same cross VM recovery point. And all of these come up as a whole in the boot order of your choice without any extra work on your part. So this again allows you to protect and recover those complex multi-VM applications together as one cohesive unit to the exact same point in time. Saves a ton of resources when you're trying to reduce the amount of time dedicated to recovery. This, of course, includes apps like Microsoft SQL, Oracle, a 911 dispatch, judicial court systems of California or any other state, and of course, any of your other most critical systems that need to be up and running at all times. So that simplified recovery that we've just been talking about here is really powered by our built-in orchestration engine, not a separate product that's been kind of bolted on top. Instead, with Zerto, you actually simply select the applications or servers you want to recover, pick the exact point in time you need down to the second, again, remember, only seconds, and then start the failover test or restore process. So when there's a disruption or outage, this kind of rapid and fast recovery is exactly how you can drastically limit that downtime and get back up and running quickly. Now, we pair that orchestration engine we just mentioned with automation extending from start to finish, top to bottom, right? Very easy to deploy right in your environment. Includes things like auto protect, which lets you protect application components as a whole. Um, and also gives you the flexibility to really grow with your IT and business needs. And on top of that, something that's actually very neat is we really give the power to the developers. So developers can create internal processes using our open API to really integrate with us and do things like automate deploying a VPG, etc. So we're not only flexible, but we also really allow for customization as well. Now, let's look at a real life example here of how Zerto's orchestration and automation really comes alive with our failover testing. So our customers are dramatically reducing the time it takes to do testing, as well as reducing the complexity involved, and that enables them to really test often and comprehensively. So one example here is a real customer who used to have extensive run books and lengthy DR exercises. With Zerto, they've reduced that by 98%. And they took a complicated and convoluted process that took 3.5 days. That's right, 3.5 days for them testing, down to just 2 hours. This is really just one example of several where customers who adopted Zerto really realize the value every day from this non-disruptive testing that we can deliver, and the fast RTOs that those tests demonstrate, that are very achievable for their organizations. Now, when we talk with customers about all the advantages we've just been looking at, top of mind is always where can they achieve this? They're running uh, disparate platforms, multi-cloud environments where this continuous availability is critical no matter where these applications live. And that's really where Zerto can add value by unlocking that true hybrid cloud resilience. So some organizations are wholly focused on private cloud, maybe others are deeply engaged with our managed service partners, and others are ramping up their public cloud usage. Regardless of where you fall in that, Zerto really can help you minimize that data loss and downtime. We can help you move to, from, between clouds, and then even evolve with you if you start looking at emerging tech or need data protection for SaaS apps like Microsoft 365. Now, staying on this topic, when you think about those cloud models, whether it's IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS, there's really a number of use cases that instantly become available. So DR to the cloud, for example, is a great way to get an offsite target and kickstart a cloud strategy, right? So once you're using cloud, there might be a need to migrate up there altogether or even migrate out if your strategy changes. Of course, Zerto has you covered there. Inside the cloud, we offer orchestrated, highly scalable disaster recovery for born in the cloud instances, as well as migrated workloads. Now, when we talk about cloud native, what we're really referring to here is data protection as code. So it's about purpose-built protection of stateful and stateless apps and all related resources that really comprise an app. So when we refer to multi-cloud, this is really a great example because we have Zerto in cloud for organizations who are all in on AWS and need cross-region and cross-zone DR. The same orchestration engine that we've had on-premise is now running in AWS in order to natively protect EC2 instances. So it's an API-first approach that uses data protection as code to improve efficiency and ensure no workload goes unprotected. Lastly, it's really worth mentioning that one of the advantages we have when it comes to hybrid cloud is the power of HPE behind us. Art mentioned it as well during his portion, but we were acquired a couple of years ago by HPE, and now what has happened is actually we have again the power of HPE behind us in the form of their HPE GreenLake platform. So this is a highly available SaaS platform that now actually unlocks both data protection as a service as well as backup and recovery. So HPE GreenLake for backup and recovery offers a simple solution for reducing your backup storage footprint by upwards of 80%. And we've also launched HPE GreenLake for disaster recovery to bring Zerto's leading continuous data protection technology onto their cloud platform as well. So both services are now available for the general public. Now, the easy, fast deployments that we're seeing with HPE GreenLake is actually something that our customers have experienced on premise with Zerto for almost 15 years now. It's all about accelerating time to value and eliminating any barriers to getting your applications protected. We actually have one customer who was up and replicating 1,500 servers in only 3 weeks. They're leveraging our advantage with being software only and the way we can rapidly scale out to start getting you those extremely low RPOs, and in their case, single digit RPOs across a multi-cloud deployment. Now, part of the reason that customers can get up and running so quickly and then adapt as things change is that our flexible architecture really enables a very wide range of configurations and deployments. And on top of that, there's really only a couple components that are needed to be deployed, all of them being pretty lightweight. So in this example, we're showing a setup with both local replication and remote replication to a DR site, plus additional offsite mutable copies hosted on-premise or in the cloud. So when deploying Zerto, you actually have what's called the ZVM or the Zerto Virtual Manager, which is like your GUI. So if you're a data center admin, you are actually able to go into vCenter. You have your production environment and a DR environment. You have VMs on each host, and you use the VRA to replicate between the two sites. The journal is compressed, keeps track of the changes happening in the VMs, and you get that always on replication that we mentioned earlier. On top of that, we can push off to the cloud an immutable copy using any S3 compatible repository, and including Azure Blob, Amazon S3, and then S3 compatible, like I mentioned, like Scality. Now, staying on the topic of flexible architectures, one of the other solutions here that's really critical in the highly regulated industries like government is the Zerto Cyber Resilience Vault. So as cyber attacks, ransomware threats continue to grow in frequency, severity, sophistication, the solutions really used to combat it also need to adapt and improve to really meet those needs of organizations. So what is actually needed in many cases is a strong proactive strategy to prevent and stop attacks, which we call left of boom technologies. But equally important is a right of boom technology, which is focused on recovery after an attack. So in today's world, the need to incorporate both using a comprehensive, rigorous approach has really never been higher. So born out of this need is the Zerto Cyber Resilience Vault. This is actually going to be a highly secure, completely isolated air-gapped vault with immutable copies inside using unique zero trust architectures. The cyber vault is really going to be your option of last resort if everything else fails. This is what you can go back to recover, even in the event of one of the most devastating ransomware attack. The cyber vault has you covered. Now, the cyber resilience vault the architecture, again, this is kind of the backbone of what enables all of this to happen. So part of the reason, part of the reason that we can get up and running so quickly is because of this architecture. So what you're seeing here, we have the core of the cyber resilience solution is based on the HP Electra storage and HP ProLiant servers, and of course with Zerto. So we have an Electra at our replication target, which is directly connected and physically air gapped between the sites. We're then able to take snapshots of the data stored at the replication target, and they're sent over to the vault as immutable copies. So this provides a fully physical air gap for an isolated, disconnected environment with zero trust architecture. And finally, when we are wrapping up the key differences for Zerto, the replication and journaling we've been discussing is all easily reported on in a variety of ways. We give you complete multi-site visibility through Zerto Analytics, which is our SaaS solution that's included at no additional cost. And with Zerto Analytics, you can view the protection and recovery status of all of your applications, including tracking both protected and unprotected servers. If you want to protect those servers, we include forecasting tools that use your real world IO and throughput data to calculate what's going to be required. Then from there, you can get intelligent insights into what a Zerto deployment might look like when replicating to this vSphere or up to the cloud as well. And these reports also can help you stay in compliance with some common regulations as well. Now, this true CDP that we've spent the better part of a half an hour talking about is put to the test every single day by some of the largest companies in the world running, the most demanding workloads. Zerto is really the only company that can that with a CDP solution that can deliver single-digit RPOs across thousands of VMs and also do that across totally disparate infrastructures, requirements, and applications. As you see here, customers like United Airlines have we protect over 4,000 VMs for them and are able to deliver single-digit RPOs in the form of 8 seconds, right? CVS, same thing, 1,400 VMs protected, 7 seconds of RPOs. This is really the reason that we're the gold standard and the reason everybody from nonprofits to Fortune 500 to government organizations really trust us with their most critical digital assets. Some of these, RPOs that we're able to deliver are pretty astounding. And again, no matter what industry, we can deliver these. So I mentioned some of those examples that were Fortune, 500 publicly traded companies. What about government customers? And more specifically, what about state and local government? We actually have two great examples here that I wanted to spend a few minutes on. The first one being the city of Tyler. This is a city in Texas. Before Zerto, they actually suffered a major disruption. They needed a new disaster recovery solution that could quickly restore data and operations in the event of another disruption. One of their key mandates was they needed to provide continuity of services for all internal users to be able to access the data 24/7. They implemented Zerto. They were able to protect 300 VMs, including 50 VMs assigned to critical applications that support public safety services like emergency medical services, 911, police, and fire. Grey County, this is a county in Ontario, Canada. Before Zerto, what they were looking for was a tried and true disaster recovery solution that could be utilized for their entire organization that was also easy to use. Zerto delivered disaster recovery in the cloud rather than in a physical data center for them, where with only one person needed, which ended up saving them $25,000 per year, all while allowing them to control everything from the Zerto interface, including features like one-click failover, which made the whole operation simple to use. So these are just a couple examples, and we'll kind of I'll mention some more later where you can find them. But these are just a couple of many, and how we really deliver that uninterrupted those uninterrupted operations to government entities. Now, we are not Zerto and HPE offer a wide array of solutions based on your needs, right? So we've kind of spent all this time talking about disaster recovery, talking about being able to deliver 5-10 seconds RPOs, no data loss, no downtime, etc. Of course, for your mission critical applications, that is completely the case. Our Zerto for VMs and Zerto for cloud can deliver these 5-10 second RPOs, as well as our HP GreenLake for disaster recovery that's built on Zerto. We can deliver this. Now, for other applications or for maybe long-term retention compliance needs, we also offer Zerto backup for SaaS. So we can back up some of your most popular SaaS applications. I mentioned Microsoft 365, Salesforce, etc. And then we also have the HPE backup and recovery service as well on GreenLake. So we have this unified portfolio, and we can really deliver those those single-digit RPOs for your mission critical applications. But we also have the ability for backup as well if you need that. And finally, again, whether this is an unplanned disruption like a natural disaster, like a ransomware attack, malware, right? Maybe it's a planned disruption like a migration, etc. Zerto can really solve for any of those disruptions, and really allow you to get back up and running, um, with seconds of data loss. And of course, if nothing else that you took away from our presentation today, I hope you're really able to take away these three differentiators of what Zerto can do. We can resume operations at scale within minutes. We can recover to a state only seconds before an attack. And finally, we can de-risk your recovery with instant non-disruptive testing that you can do at any time, including during business hours, with really no impact to your production as well. So finally, what I want to leave you with is I invite you to really experience what Zero has to offer, um, from the comfort of your home or office, whether it's a live demo tailored to your agency's specific needs, hands-on lab that allows you to really test drive Zerto, um, or visiting our Zerto for Government webpage to learn more about data, to see more data sheets, white papers, including customer case studies, as well as learning more about customers like the city of Tyler that I mentioned and their journey to provide their organization with continuity of operations. We're really proud to offer these resources so you can experience Zerto firsthand before making your decision. And with that, I thank everybody for joining.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. E360 also thanks you for your time and attention on these important topics and learning more about Zerto, and would like to let you know that E360 holds the California State Enterprise Contract for HPE, which provides a means for California public sector agencies, counties, cities, and education to easily buy products and services with E360, including Zerto. If interested, please reach out to an E360 account executive or email us at info@e360.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can to go further in our Zerto and HPE partnership. Again, we thank you for your time. And Mike, was there anything else you wanted to close with?
No, that's it. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining.
All right. Have a good day. Bye.